There's one question, and really one question that can clarify so much with investing. And when we get hit with inflation, deflation, market crashing, that going up, this changing, that happening, what helps most is to get back to one simple question. And this video this week is about getting back to that one simple question that really answers almost everything else. So I'm going to ask that question in a couple seconds, and then it's going to tell us exactly what's going on with the entire investment universe. All right, here we go. Hey guys, this is RC Peck. And what I want to do is give you the question I often ask myself, and I'm going to answer it too, when I want to just get complete clarity. The question is, what asset class is beating the rest? Now, there's only 5 asset classes. I'm going to go into them. Why this matters for you, because if you have money, and if you're watching this video, you do, and you probably have money in the markets, then this is going to just bring extreme clarity to like, okay, that's what's happening. So what I want to do is ask the question, what asset class is leading the other 4? Now, whether you think there's 4 asset classes or 5, and I'll get into why 4 or 5, it actually doesn't matter. The question is still very powerful. And so it's going to tell you whether you're 70 years old or 40 years old or somewhere in between, above or below, exactly what's going on with the market right now. And it's going to give you that clarity of, oh, got it. What I'm doing doesn't need to be changed, or I really need to change things up. So here's the question. What asset class is leading the other 5? The 5 asset classes, I'm going to do 5 today. Sometimes I do 4. 5 asset class: stocks, bonds, cash, real estate, commodities. I sometimes do 4 where it's cash and bonds are one thing, but I'll separate them out today. So let me jump over to, we'll just start with SPY. In fact, I'll even go with VTI, which is basically the whole U.S. stock market. I'm going to stick with the U.S. market. I could do all world, but the numbers are going to come back the same. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of point out it's going up. The black line is going up, and that's all that really matters. The time range we're looking at is 3.5 years. So what we know right now is stocks are going up and to the right. I now will just quickly look at commodities. Commodities are going up and to the right, not as pretty as stocks. Really, commodities stopped falling down here, and they've been going up ever since basically May of last year. So that's a full 13 months. So that's a legitimate amount of time to be going higher, and they're breaking a lot of resistances. So number 2, we have commodities going higher. Number 3, let's go over to U.S. bond market, and that is not going up. That stopped going up in August of last year. BNDX is the international bond market, slightly stronger. I'll call international bond market sideways, and I'll call U.S. bond market slightly down to sideways. So far we have 3 asset classes. For currencies, I'm just going to use the U.S. dollar. It represents about 56% of all currencies on the planet. And if you can look at that, that definitely is not up. It's definitely not sideways. It would look to me as being down. And then lastly, this is a weird one because real estate only updates every quarter. Now, by the way, I'm not done asking the question by just looking at an absolute price chart. We have to do one more thing with that. So you got to stick around for where the power comes in. And this is real estate in the United States. This is every quarter, so you have to actually ignore the dates on the bottom. Each gray vertical line, think of that as a quarter and not a month. But nonetheless, it's going up and to the right. So we have stocks going up and to the right, we have commodities going up and to the right, and we have real estate going up to the right. What we don't have going up to the right is either fixed income, or if you want to separate them out, bonds and cash. Okay, so now we have to figure out what are the strongest, because the order of this matters. And I could have jumped right to that, but the order of this matters. So let's go with what I believe to be the strongest, which is commodities. So here's the commodity complex. And all I'm going to do is just divide this by a really strong asset to beat, which is stocks. So if you look at the screen, since, let's call it November, I have to move my microphone a little bit, November of last year, commodities have been outperforming stocks. Now, they stopped weakening the stocks in May of last year. So you could even start with May of last year saying From May of last year, commodities have been equaling or beating the strength of stocks. So that's important. So then I just want to see, is anything else? We know bonds are not going to be beating commodities. We know cash isn't going to be beating commodities. Now, what we can do is take this and divide this by real estate, which I'll do. It's going to look a little weird because one is daily and one is quarterly. But what you can see is since May of last year, commodities have been outperforming real estate. So this is what we know right now. Commodities is the strongest asset out of those 5 asset classes. We now need to figure out if real estate is next or if stocks are next. So let's just put stocks in here. And we go, oh, got it. Stocks are stronger. So we have the order of strength of the asset classes. The strongest asset class right now is commodities and has been, depending on where you're measuring, either May of last year or, I'm going from memory, August. Second is stocks. Third is real estate. And then we have bonds and cash at the end, also known as fixed income. Why that matters is you want to know where the strength is. And let me get out of this. I'll go back to why this matters is it helps you really understand what's going on. It's like right away, we're not even, 5 minutes into this video, and right away, you know, oh, stocks are doing well, real estate is doing well, and commodities is doing well. If you didn't know that could happen, now you know that's actually happening. No one's panicking into fixed income, or also known as bonds and cash. That's also really important. So what we have right now is a overall investment market where commodities are beating everything else. Will they be beating everything else for the next 10 years? I don't know. That's not us to determine. But what we do know is, and I'll just put up, it's actually on the screen here. What we do know is over time, actually it was November of last year, commodities are just moving higher. They then kind of weaken, but then they go higher relative to equities. That does tell us there's a likelihood that inflation may stay around, but this is not an inflation video or a panic video or whatever video. This is just simply, is there a way for me to just get complete clarity on what's going on? The answer is absolutely. It's learning what questions to ask. And really you're asking those to prices. You're asking them to price charts. You're asking them to the markets. But the other thing is knowing when to ask those questions and which price charts to ask those questions. So we've got commodities number 1, we got stocks number 2, we got real estate number 3, and then in the back is the place where people panic when they're really, really scared about the future, and that is not happening. So that is a wrap for this week, guys. I really appreciate you being in my world. If you like the video, please like it. It makes a huge difference. I would love to grow the channel, but no one's really looking for this channel, which is fine. It's me talking to you. But leave a comment. Where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? Where do you think I missed it? Am I missing something? I'm super open to conversations like that, guys. If you want to dump your rage or anger, do it somewhere else on another channel. There's plenty of those places. But here we're doing this for really taking back control of our money and knowing that we're going to have enough. So if you like the video, you'll love my Clarity and Control training course. You can get it in the description. It's awesome. Thanks for being in my world, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.